Welcome back to the desk for the last game of the regular split. It's going to be Astralis versus X7. It's do or die for X7 if they want to take that first seed, or else things are going to get a little bit tricky in the standings. Welcome back.
Thank you. You feel great.
I'm so happy.
This was a great experience for me in the green room because I was watching the duality of the one tricks. I had Archrum on my right, over the moon, completely joyed, and Trouble molding next to me. And
in all reality, there's no better setup than Hecarim.
I've heard this one 5 times already. Maybe 6.
Okay,
Actually 10.
There's no better setup than Gnar, Hecarim, Pantheon
11.
Stan, and Jinx to give you resets on Katarina.
I mean, I see your point.
Squishes.
I see your point, but
Someone
I raise
dies.
you something
Like,
like...
you know what? I also understand. I also understand Vanir not wanting particularly Sahira maybe to play the Katarina.
Okay, that's a fair point. Now, looking into X7 versus Astralis, if Astralis wants to leave like a dent in the entire split, this could be it.
Yeah. It's crazy because Bifrost and Excel right now are tied together. If Excel lose, all 3 teams are tied together. And obviously X7 have taken top 2, no matter what happens, no matter if they win or lose, but that will drop Excel to 3rd place instead of Bifrost.
Oh, can you defeat
So
Excel?
if anything, Astralis can screw over Excel, who has been screwing me with Katarina hovers the entire season. So let's go Astralis.
The best way to defeat Excel is by defeating X7.
Today. Yes, you're right.
I haven't predicted Astralis either, but Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark all the way, you know, but not today because I've actually made a bet with the coaching staff. So I'm praying on
You're locked in
for once. Yeah,
You're locked in.
Whoa. What is that about? Is it food? Oh, it's food.
Oh, it's
okay.
a dinner.
Yeah.
Lovely.
You know
And
what? I would do the same.
let's have a feast in this champion select. The last one, oh, I'm almost losing my voice. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, maybe because you've been screaming. So moving into the champ select, I'm really hoping that we'll have Jinx banned, just so we don't get the same 88 carry meta that we've seen so
At least
far.
we're not going to see Zinza.
No, okay, so the thing is, of course you're in your right picking Jinx. She's really good and by far the best AD carry. But as a viewer, it just gets really boring watching.
Ban Hecarim, I say. If you're going to go in with Zinzao and Diana versus Haru, I think it's best to ban Hecarim right here, and then if you want to, you can first pick the Lee Sin for Taxa, who is very good at, and then, yeah, perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. Then now you can first pick the Lee Sin if you want to, because it's going straight to Taxa, right? And then you handshake with whichever, either Aphelios or Jinx, whichever ADC you take, because Crispec is just, ooh. But that's also good. You can still envelope Lee Sin here, because then you have Caitlyn and Aphelios, and then you can still handshake.
You still have
Apparently, they do value the flex of the Gwen as well. Can go into the jungle, can go into the top.
Well, there is a reason why Gwen still has remained on the red side ban. Like some of our teams just don't play that champion, but to the teams that does, like they've run away with it quite often. Like Noodle comes to mind as well from Vanya, who's been having amazing performances on it. And you mentioned the Aphelios can be paired up with a jungler here if they'd like that. Can be paired up with the Thresh and Lulu. I assume Astralis would have a response ready, either the Caitlyn as you have talked about, or something different.
You can very easily, I wouldn't pick necessarily jungle here until I know, maybe keep it for 3rd pick if possible. Maybe look in something like the Lulu or the Thresh together with your Aphelios or something like the Nautilus to go forward. Oh, we forgot the Volibear actually. Volibear is a really great blind pick right here, and it also does work into Lee Sin. There is very few 1v1s that 3-6 Volibear loses to.
You could look into the Trundle. Do you think the Trundle could deal with this scenario?
No, I feel like if you go Trundle here, you just open your flex. I feel like you want to secure your bot lane here, you potentially want to play for it.
I think you pick the Lee Sin here.
I don't know, I think like they're just hovering it just to put it in their minds. Like, yeah, ban junglers and then put the Gwen in the jungle later on. So they're just playing with it. I mean, yeah, there you go, bot lane rotation, Sire, Khan. So we thought about the Caitlyn, but it seems they have another potential option by going for this. I'm just saying, Poppy already has a lot of value. If you want a 3rd Poppy here, put it top, put it jungle. Obviously, you cannot put it. You can actually not put it jungle, but you can always put it in the support position itself.
It's still a blind pick, so Jace could be countered in the 2nd rotation of picks in favor of Astralis if they want to bring in the Gwen into the jungle. So they're not opening their hand.
Carlsen does play Irelia, so if you don't ban it here, you can very easily rotate the Gwen into the jungle and put the Irelia top. The Camille also makes Jace's life a hell on the side lane. There's other picks as well that can really deal with the Jace later on. The Akali comes to mind a lot, especially after level 6. You have kill potential onto the Jace on the side lane. Also, Carlsen likes that stuff. We've seen him on the set a lot of times. The second Jace goes into melee, you can hard punish that. So there's a bunch of avenues that Carlsen can take. You have the Wukong too that Tattoo usually plays into the Jace. There's just so many things, and since you don't have to blind pick anymore into the Jace, you can choose and take. The problem is that the Jace is also a flex. Today we have seen it in the mid lane. Tempt can play the Jace in the mid lane as well. So from the side of X7, they're also keeping their cards closed.
I absolutely love that we see the Leona ban. Usually I'd go like, well, banning Leona and Nautilus doesn't really matter if one of them goes through because they do the same. But when you actually have a Sire, then all of a sudden you'll be able to dodge out the Nautilus ultimate way easier than dodging out on the Solar Flare. Granted, yes, Solar Flare does still have that second, but even if they pick Nautilus here, I feel like you're fine as Astralis. You still have ways to move around with it, and you get the counter pick for topside. Camille is still an option if you want to play the Camille into the Jace. It's not so good on the first few waves, but it does have that gank setup. And it looks like we're just going to be having a Cillian bottom lane. It is a good matchup into the Rakan because you get to play safe. As Cillian, you quite often want to get out of laning phase, and you're playing as double range. So
say that.
Could be flex.
Could be flex. It could
be
mid lane.
Yeah, you're right. It could be flex. It could be mid lane. I was just taking it out of my perspective from.
I really like what
makes
you're
sense
saying,
for you
because the second Rakan goes in and you put the slow down. Doesn't matter if he jumps back onto Zaya, he's still slowed down. You can reach him. We can put down the double bombs, right? So I don't mind it. I was sure this was going to happen right here. I was 100% sure that if Lee Sin is open, Taxer is going to lock it into the jungle, which means that Gwen goes towards the top side of the map. The LeBlanc is still open up and available for Cress if he wants to pair it up with Lee Sin, because they make a great duo.
Man, that is a tough matchup for Carlsen though on the first 3 waves, especially because they'll probably be playing down towards the bot side. I'll be very impressed with Carlsen if he's able to maneuver around Jaeger in this matchup, because I mean, on weak side, I have had my worries about him, and now as Gwen into Jace, first 3 waves, you're gonna hang on.
Let me talk to you about our Lord and Savior, which I was using before teleport was used. Ignite TP.
It's a possibility, nonetheless, it's still a scary one, and ooh, Vex into all these dashing champions as well. That's definitely a very nice one. So yeah, we go. Cillian down towards the bot lane, unless Kasing has been practicing Vex support. But on the side of X7, I mean, they got a good facilitating jungler that can play towards almost every lane pre-6 as well. I think bot lane can be difficult playing towards, but even then, no, actually not. It's easy landing double bomb as well. So X7, they have loads of options as to where they want to play for. For Astralis, I feel like a little bit more bot side.
To me, I feel like Tax is going to have to do a lot on this map, because you don't necessarily have very easy setup. You have to land the taunt on the Ahri. You have to land the Q when you go towards mid lane. And Vex can also hold on to her passive, the Fear. So the second you land on her with the Q from Lee Sin, she can fear you away. I think on the other hand, you've got so much setup with the Vex Fear in the mid lane. For Haru, you also have a lot of setup in the bot lane as well, due to the double bomb, but also the slow and the speed up, right? You can speed up the Volibear, you can slow someone in the bot lane. And then you can have a pretty easy pickup, or just grab a summoner spell and then go to Dragon.
Last game of the split, and this one is going to decide the top 2 seeds. So it's going to be an interesting one. Astralis can play for spoiler, or X7 can lock themselves the first place. So don't go anywhere as we jump into the caster's desk.
Thank you so
We have to jump into it. Okay, we're here at the Genesis test. We jumped into it.
All right. I wasn't expecting that, so I just went with you. Diving in feet first, a leap of faith, you might say, and it might be a leap of faith for this game, all things said and done, because, of course, X7 win this, they lock first place. They lose this, and the way tiebreakers will play out with Bifrost, XL, and X7 all tied at the 14-win mark is Bifrost first, because they have the 2-0 over X7.
And then wins in the second half of the split.
So they therefore take the initial first spot. It then goes to a second tiebreaker between XL and X7, where X7 have the 2-0 over XL. So XL, out of nowhere, would end up in third. Of course, all of that's avoided if X7 get first. And then XL have the 2-0 over Bifrost, and they get second.
It's a bit of a strange scenario. So if you are an XL fan, you're actually an X7 fan this game. Don't get too used to it. But for one best of one, might have to be on their side.
A reminder again why getting top 2 is so important. You avoid an entire round of playoffs. You get an additional life. And the winner of the Juggernaut match between the first and second seeds goes straight to the finals, gets a chance to play, you know, even less series again, can win the split, but also gets that ticket to EU Masters. We only get 2 seeds. It is the 2 finalists. It is so, so important. Such a prize to be won here. And X7, they might lock top 2, but they can decide the other team's fates.
And,
he's here.
Sotosh.
Great
Arrow of
Devour.
breadcrumbs.
Indeed. Destroyer of worlds.
What? The call of the Sotosh has changed again!
Production is perfect. Production is perfect.
You know what would have been hilarious if we didn't talk about the elephant in the room?
The elephant in the river, as it stands. That's brilliant.
Oh my God.
What a truncated segment that is.
I was really trying to be serious with this game, but...
Absolutely. But a little bit of fun, a little bit of entertainment is exactly it, because this game will be entertaining one way or another. The stakes could not be higher. And elephant noises abound, elephants in the rivers abound, and hopefully X7 will hope they've got all their ducks or Sothwatches in a row. Oh yes.
How do you...
Puns of a feather flock together.
Oh, no.
I'll have to be quiet now.
You know what? I've cast with you for so long, this is like water off a duck's back. But this is not a duck. It is actually, you know, an occult entity.
An occult entity, indeed, yes.
Not actually relevant at all. Okay, right. What is relevant, of course, is ward onto this enemy red buff from X7. So they're going to track Taxa very early on. I'm going to very much echo what Trouble said on the desk. Taxa has to do a lot this game, I feel. If you can win through mid-jungle early on, that is huge. But what we do know, actually, very relevantly to actually this mid lane matchup and then the jungle mid as well from Astralis is Rogue lost to Astralis in the NLC.
They did.
Playing the Ahri Lee Sin into the Vex, level 1 in bot lane. Very dangerous on both these sides, but watch for the overextensions in mid jungle because both of these combos follow up really, really hard.
Level 6 for both of these teams, where the jungle goes first and then the other player follows up, are absolute 100-0 combos. I don't care who you are, you will die at that point in the game. Watch for it. It is Ghost Teleport top, by the by, as well. Of course, there was some potential debate around whether an Ignite might be an option, but they have gone for the mobility.
And actually, you know what? I would have loved to check out the level 1 up in top lane, but I actually just kind of forgot about it. Because you know we mentioned the Zeus level 1 E start last game. You can play that in this match. Of course, you'll have the QE now at this point, but you can have some tech to stop the Gwen taking some winning trades at level 1, where she uses that E to chase you down.
We could do a little bit of deduction anyway, because there's 3 pots still in inventory, and a biscuit as well, despite some debate, of course, around that summer. But the point is, the sustain is still all there for Jaeger. None of it was popped at the level 1, feeling pretty happy as things stand right there.
I mean, either way, done okay at that point. The mid laners trading out. Both these champions relatively similar in the way that they operate, actually. I have to say, the more I've seen this matchup on the competitive stage, I've quite liked Vex into Ahri. I feel like you can trade at level 1, where Ahri often gets control of that lane. And if Ahri steps too deep, you don't survive Vex Burst that often. In this game, of course, you are going to have to be a bit more set up yourself. You're not necessarily going to be the big damage there because you have double AP solo laners. Gwen doesn't bring any CC to the table. You're basically relying on Rakan to be your big damage.
And Tep was trying to vex the Temptress, but Taxa is here to punish that quite quickly. And reminder on Monday.
See, Sam, this just reminds you of saying, like, Tempt, Taxa, Donkey. Sorry, go on. What happened on Monday, Sam?
I was going to say Taxa had a phenomenal start to the game on his Lee Sin in that game. Did incredible things across the map. Couldn't keep it rolling though, but we've seen that now some of the pressure is off for Astralis. They've seemed a lot more proactive, a lot more cohesive, and a little bit more lethal, I think is the way I'll put it. Of course, he's still going to be into a very dangerous team like X7. Haru manages to put the sirens on and get out of dodge.
So, actually, just speaking, because Haru is on the screen there, checking through the runes and masteries, of course. So we've got the Aeon's Crispux, it's going to be Lethality Xayah. That's Predator Volibear. The first time we saw Volibear come into the NLC, actually come back to what Trouble said
Absolutely,
weeks ago.
way
It's
back
like,
when, that's
wow,
very true.
have you heard of Predator Volibear? It is absurd. Now you have the the Zillion following up on that.
So fast.
The ability to close down onto a target is nuts. You only have one Xayah ultimate.
Knocked up, flashing away. Can try to turn this around, takes so much health, but here comes Haru trying to turn this around. The Ignite's not going to quite be enough. He survives another turnaround as here. Chrisberg having to flash out, but can he get far enough away? Kasing can't do too much more. And summoners are blown by everybody. It's only flashes left on the supports. Nata gets out alive with the wave pushed in. He won't lose too much here in terms of minions either.
No, but he does lose half that wave to his jungler taking it, whereas Chrisberg and Wendell are going to be able to pick that up themselves. Kasing making sure he does get pushed into turret, though.
Clears out the wards as well, and that might put Wendell and Chrisberg in a dangerous position, maybe this time in a minute or 2 minutes.
Okay, so bot lane was the last theatre of real action in this game. We were wondering briefly if it was going to come down to mid-jungle point, particularly when you see these champions think, okay, mid-jungle's definitely got the ability to brawl around, but every lane actually is a point of concern. They're all swingy matchups. One gets ahead of the other. Things get very, very scary. So watch out for support roams, watch out for the junglers. Any kind of gank is going to have huge ramifications to the way this game plays out. Sometimes that's not always the case when you've got, I don't know, something like a GP that you know is going to scale into relevance. All of these lanes are going to be incredibly explosive if leads start to form.
In all honesty, if this game ends up in an even state, say 10 minutes, 15 minutes from now, the way the team fights could play out around our objectives, as you said, could be hugely explosive. So many playmaking options for both teams. Taxa is around, and there's actually a ward already in lane.
Hop is already set up.
Absolutely, there's a safeguard that would be very unsafe for Temp right now. As Wendell's around as well. Here we go. Will not go to the ward.
But we do see Kasing was out of lane as well, making his way towards that mid lane.
Remember, there's no flash on Nata, and Astralis are going to be here. Haru's going away. There's an angle for a dive, in fact. Nata's chunked out by the lethality.
I think because, of course, you're playing against Haru. You know that Haru is going to be very destructive when you're not tracking him. We saw how he turned up into bot lane for that last play. When you don't have a heal to play with and you don't have an ignite, you don't necessarily want to chance a bit of a flip dive. We know how easily X7 can punish and run away with a game after you make mistakes. That would have been maybe a flip too far.
We do like to burger flip occasionally here and in the LEC and other regions, but not quite there this game. As it stands, X7 are getting slight gold leads here, mainly because their solo laners are doing pretty well as it stands, but it's only 100 or so right now, and as I say that, Astralis actually flipped that back around again. It is a very, very tight early game. No one's died yet, no one's really made any serious plays. The only, honestly, discrepancy on the scoreboards right now is you can see that initial Drake going over to Haru and XM.
So we will track what's of course is going to be happening with the first big fights. So that Chrisberg is going for that tier, but not stopping for the full Manamune. Going to go towards the Eclipse first, as you would imagine. With this, even against a lot of squishy champions, Eclipse is just such a good item to have. And particularly Xayah benefits a lot from Omnivamp in general, because her feathers give her a lot of healing. Actually, both Phalios and... Oh, okay, wasn't the one. But, both the Phalios and Xayah worked really well at the start of the season with Doran's Blade, giving a lot of Omnivamp, and then Ravenous Hunter, because they have so much ability damage to heal off of. And of course, Xayah still maintaining that ability to heal through that with the Eclipse.
Does manage to make his way into the bot lane here, but doesn't pull off the gank, doesn't stick around too long. And I'll pull out a couple numbers here for you, because this will be Nata's
4.12.
They were relevant numbers, not random numbers. I know there's RNG involved, but random number generated from my caster was not really what I was looking for. But X7, Nata's Aphelios, currently undefeated this split.
Oh, wow.
As he is 3-0 on the champion, 620-odd DPM, actually, sorry, 630-odd DPM on that particular pick. Done very, very good stuff with him. Of course, there was that infamous turnaround around Tier 2 where he lands some phenomenal...
First round Robin, yes.
Absolutely, as Taxet did pick up the early Herald. X7 don't want to contest for that one right now, and they give that one up. But Astralis, on the other hand, this is Chrisberg's first look at the Xayah split. Of course, it's not been a particularly popular pick, and this is only his 4th game of Xayah ever in his career. He's been playing for a couple of years, but this is only the 4th time he's picked it up.
Yeah, but Astralis is an org. Okay, see what's going to happen with that. Yeah, going for the big old chunk.
A lot of chakrams flying up, but the root of the tower! Charm comes through, Nata's in trouble with the exhaust coming out. Can Nata play this one up, but the feathers shred him down?
I mean, number of games to be damned, they absolutely crushed that 2v2. Ults to be aware of, there's a flash, of course, there's the Predator, which was popped to get down there, but it looks at the cooldown on those boots. But Chrisberg and Wendell, they come out with a pretty important kill here.
Wendell was level 5, they didn't think he'd get 6.
Oh, he
when does he get 6?
He must get off the cannon. Test the relic shields, and that root getting all the feathers the way through. Make sure the heal comes out after they want to get in. The extra move speed very much helping down there. That is a very clutch turnaround, and very importantly so. Kill onto that Xayah. It's a good reward to get.
Big moment there, and a literal game of inches. The level 6 come through. The quickness is there, just quick enough. No level 6, of course, for Kasing at that point. No chrono shift, no way to revive Nata, who honestly thought he had the option. If that hadn't been there, honestly, I think they could have got it.
And I think that kind of play is... So, at the start of the split, Nata was doing those plays and looking incredible doing it. And we came into this scene, the NLC scene in this split, with such explosive fanfare, even with the star players on the rest of the team. What we were saying was actually, no, he wasn't getting overshadowed. Now, of recent weeks, Nata has had some down games. They have had a couple of games where they've fallen apart a little bit in that bot lane in the laning phase by being a little too over-aggressive, by committing to a couple of plays that were a little unwise in this game. Of course, not nearly of that same kind of caliber. It's one death, it's not the end of things, but still, Nata being found a bit wanting in that aggressive look in.
Doesn't quite make it work, but now there's another potential dive coming in. Vex roaming down, but so is Crest. Just around the corner, there's the Herald and Inventory, remember, for Taxa. What are they going to do? Those Haru steps forwards. Predator's down, and that's a big stun. Chrisberg, no ult, as you called. Nata with Severum Crescendum, looking to onslaught his way forwards, but they pull it away. Not too much blown there, aside from the Predator.
But serious discipline on both of these teams, that particularly on Chrisberg, to just be like, look, I don't need to flash out. Got teammates who are coming. This isn't a problem. Nata, though, has the ult for the Gravitum.
Being so aggressive with these Moonlight Vigils, and Flynn Haru is here. Flash, thundering smash, takes down Chrisberg.
So, about that discipline, doesn't really matter, though, when you've got that much to lock down. Gravitum comes through. Haru commits the flash, takes down the AD carry. That's a one trade for X7.
Bomb into stun. Chunks Wendell out, won't get too much more. He does get away. Nata is a little low on HP bar as Taxa, looking for a bit more, but turn around there with the Gravitum slows means that there's no real look in for a kill, though I appreciate the look in from Taxa.
And again, we talked about Taxa having good impact on that last game today. Sat now at 0-0-0 across the board. Actually, the entire top side of Astralis sat on that scoreboard. And let's look at this top lane as it's on screen, because it's not actually been that active early. But Carlson, again, one of these players that has come in, very young player, and he's had some moments of absolute domination, playing through a lead, looking like the best player on his team during their struggling weeks. When he has been put on weak side, when he's been the point of attention by the enemy team, he has always stood up to that task. But in this game, managing to define in the early lane, now we have to start tracking his presence in these team fights.
The thing is, Astralis over the last couple of weeks have improved in their early games. Their early games have been better. Problem is, mid games still fall apart. They just lose out in some of the extended team fights, in some of their decision making. The indecision in those moments has cost them a lot, and we've already, me particularly, have called out some of their vision control around objectives. Their timings on resets, their opportunities, their moments around setting up vision have often been lacking. Thus far, of course, keeping this game nice and even. Honestly, they've got that 500 gold lead, largely because of plates. You can see it, 2 in the mid lane, 4 in the bot lane is what's keeping them in this, despite some CS discrepancies around.
I have to say, you know, looking at the Eclipse coming through, looking at the lineup of X7, I do think that this poke Xayah is going to do a lot of work. If you think of what a crit Xayah would do at this point, you're probably just going to be ulting, getting like 2 autos off, and then not really being able to achieve much from it because you have to deal with so many diving threats. A QE combo coming into late game is actually... Oh my god,
Taxa! 6th up, and now Carlson in a lot of trouble. Flash out from Jaeger. Will surely be able to dodge out. The phase rush was a lot for transformation into hammer form. Not quite enough to get him away. I thought he was done, but can't quite make it away to safety. Now bot side, that is another Moonlight Vigil that just about lands, but they can't quite get in range. And they do manage to survive there. Haru can't make it work.
Oh, and it's not like it's the Gravitum, it is the Calibrum. That's the ace in the Calibrum for the follow-up auto attack. But it's not like you're even running the press the attack for the very bursty early game trades. It's Conqueror onto that onto that Astralis. It's a chunk, it's not much more. It's kind of, it doesn't really achieve that much, but it's allowed them to get towards that dragon.
Once again, that great topside play there. Taxa proves he's got hands, knows his way around Lee Sin. Deft play to get on top of the Lee Sin. You know, credit to Jaeger for making more summoners have to burn afterwards, but he does go down, comes in trade for a dragon, which probably something that X7 will take, even if they're a little unhappy about it.
So it is going to be another Hex Rift. Today, 2 dragons for X7. That means they get a 3rd one. We know what that means. They can force Astralis to come to the play. So Astralis not really wanting to be in a position to trade cross-map at the cost of a dragon next time that does come onto the table. Have to start questioning now what Astralis have planned for the next 5 minutes of this game. They found some opportunistic look-ins, but nothing really with a 2 to 3 step plan. They haven't managed to get a kill and then get a tower and then get themselves a herald and then get themselves any number of extra objectives. Even something as basic as vision can be so important in this game.
Yes, it absolutely can be. Tax and Crest in the mid lane here could look to go in. Good Everfrost there to root Tax from places he was looking for a play.
Okay, he still had no flash, so it was unlikely that he was going to be able to get any big play up to that point. Sing was also at the scene of the not quite crime. Haru looking to commit some larceny in the topside himself. Is he topside or with a Predator and all?
It's a bit illegal to still be under this tower, and the police are arrived, and he will surely go down. He goes a little immune for the Hallowed Mist. Jaeger can't quite secure it. It'll Haru, who will be Haru rather, who will secure that kill.
And Carlson not able to survive in the way that Zyra Khan can on the bot side of the map. Tower is turned off. It says good night. The lights are out, as are Carlson's. That's
Flash quickness, but he's going to get chunked on the tower. Is Nata trying to do his best with the chrono shift to buy some time. Heals because it times out. Finally goes down. In goes Vex. Tempt. Maybe gone too deep. Chrisberg, of course, was only secured one onto Nata, and it will be the kill and nothing more.
Okay, but without the Aphelios in mid, you're going to have to call someone to wave clear for it. Tempt is low HP.
Taxa
narrowly dodges out on the Sonic Wave.
Right, keeping to go forwards. Haru stepping forward, seeing whether there was something more available. They won't be able to secure the tower, and they did burn a fair amount for it. They do get the kill, though.
And it's a good chunk onto mid. Now, if you can get the actual mid out of turret, we're talking about that dragon, how that's very important. Don't let X7 get up to soul point. Well, having mid lane out of turret, when you have these mid jungles that can dive so effectively, go over walls, cross distances in a very short amount of time, mid lane turret stops that from happening so easily. If you have mid lane turret, you get more vision, you get to control more of that mid wave. X7, very lucky to have that still standing.
Yeah, just a heads up as well, this is not a very typical position that X7 find themselves in. They are our best early game team in the league. They're normally up.
What HP is that tower on? Observers, what HP is that tower on? That is 7 HP.
Okay, yeah. 7 HP. And X7 are down.
It's the same number of HP as Star Wars movies that exist.
See what you tried to do there. We won't go there. I could see a little bit of the bitterness there that was about the Halo series. Last game is in this one right now. But X7 down 2,500 gold. Well, they are normally up 2,600 gold at 15 minutes standard. This is an unusual position for them. I'll see whether they can play it out. Still, they've got the 2 dragons. They're going to get the second herald. They've managed to get this Jace up to a point of power. And yes, you've managed to kill Nata a couple times, but he's not miles behind in this game. It's a relatively even spread of gold.
Wendell can just walk up and tap this, right? He's going behind here, threatening Nata, but I feel like you just walk up, you auto, you run out, don't you?
Jaeger is continuing to pressure into this top lane. Though Carlson, I think he's just dead.
Gosh.
Nearly. Gonna pop the ghost, but here comes Haru, but there's a Stormbringer, turn the tower off. Can you get close to, of course, the TP out in trade? And they'll take that option as it came in from the blue side jungle, stealing away X7's blue buff, by the by.
Okay, so you can see that the top side of Astralis' jungle has been given up. Talking about the blue buff being stolen away. That's kind of the price for trying to show bot side, play through mid bot, so you can get a better position for this dragon. Now, Astralis haven't left that much vision. They haven't got that much wave shove on that side of the map. They have mid, they don't have bot. Crest looking towards top.
Earned his ultimate, actually. You can think about turning this around. Here comes Wendell, who's got the quickness, trying to turn this around. Flashing away is Crest. Gets the knock-up with the grand entrance. And he's arrived just in time.
Okay, so Ahri versus Jace, actually a really good Ahri matchup. You can save your charm to cancel the To the Skies. Doesn't do it there. Doesn't even need to. But Jaeger falling down at that point, it's going to be still somewhat impactful. I mean, the problem is you've now used Ariel just before the Dragon Spawn.
And quickness.
And the quickness. And Jaeger has TP to get towards that dragon. So I feel like actually as a net trade, Astral's probably not too happy with that.
Likely going to have to give up Soul Point as a result of this, honestly. and that could be very dangerous. 5 seconds till Jaeger is here, and those cooldowns are pretty extensive. Cress is very targetable. Wendell, without the big team fight engaged, means it's a lot of work for Taxa to pull off. Can he get another one of those exceptional kicks he's found thus far? Good charm onto Temp will chunk him out. And that might be a cost. That is the Shirelius pop by Wendell to try and find something. Carlson on the flank can try and find something here, but X7 hold court in the river, looking to ward away Astralis. Remember, they're still wondering where Carlson is off vision. In goes Haru, charmed up as he tried to go in. Temp, though, got a big fear. Taxa gets away. Moonlight Vigil only gets an Infernum ult onto one. Chrisberg doesn't get a lot done with the feathers.
But Smite HP is now very low from Astralis. Taxa has to go back. You have now got yourself Spirit Rush to commit to a second fight. X7 don't quite land a knockout blow, but they do have the ability to keep fighting.
Quickness not off cooldown quite yet. Gonna try and get in his Carlson. Down to 1500 HP on the Dragons. Carlson goes down, he's dead. Dragon secured. Now in the fight, what can happen? Haru, flash stun, and then into the Stormbringer to get behind Chrisberg. He'll make a 1-for-1 right now as Wendell falls down. Nata is stuck in a very difficult position. Has got the Chrono Shift to stay alive. Bombs coming down under by space, but watch the ball through. Chrisberg out of auto, so flash forward. Will get that kill on the other side. Taxa nearly low. Flash forward, Jaeger secures it. Crest with the turnaround of the Orb of Deception makes that one work. Where are the charms? Where are the Foxfires coming through? Chrisberg so low HP, needs to be afraid, doesn't have the ultimate. One shock blast would murder him. In goes to the Zone of the Skies, quite to knock him away with a hammer blow, but it's Astralis to come out with the win of the team fight.
It's not the Dragon for Astralis, but it's just about everything else that they wanted. Carlson, he had to go for the flank, make X7 use some cooldowns on him. It's just not quite at the right spacing. That's when I started getting worried for them, but oh my gosh, Xayah is online. Even with Brazilian ult used onto the Aphelios, you know he's going to resurrect with a lot of HP. It's not enough of a HP turnaround to work. And Chrisberg has an awesome fight looking back at it.
Flash to secure the root. Otherwise, there's not enough damage, and he falls. And then with Cress, the healing for Ari and extended fights just means she's such high HP, and credit to Jaeger for trying, just not enough in the tank.
Now the question is, you've gotten a lot of gold out of that play. You've got some gold onto good members too. This is Shadow Flame.
Got the mid turret, got the bot turret.
You've got mid turret was already gone. They did end up getting that a little bit before the play, but bot, of course, managed to push that in as well. Astralis, you have a lot of gold on your main carries now. Maybe you can commit towards those big fights. As much as you have to deal with that soul point, next time it comes to a 5v5, if Chrisberg gets the same kind of angle he did in that one, you have to be very scared as X7. And reminder about this game, X7 lose, the top 3 gets thrown into shambles. X7, XL will not be on top due to head-to-heads and tiebreakers in the second half records, most importantly. Bifrost would be our regular split #1 team. X7 go down to second, XL go down to third.
Reminder again, X7 are currently 1 and 2 in game score over the last 2 weeks. Yes, the game on Monday was a bit of a debacle with a last-minute Nexus Tower turnaround, but they are still behind in this game. Carlson, though, is overshoved, will not be able to outplay 3 members, surely not. And Jaeger gets that kill, third of the game for him.
Carlson sidelining, once again, I think a point of concern for this team, but
about a 2,000 gold lead there for the Jace, or rather 1,000 or so, but it is Cress, it is Chrisberg that have got the leads right now for Astralis on the other hand. Your mid and AD carries at 3 items and a Muramana transformation is this Xayah. Absolutely terrifying.
And also seeing the Shadow Flame coming out of the Ari, it is that magic pen you're missing out by not going towards your boots or your Ludens. It's still fine, it gives you more HP to tank up something like a Vex coming into you. Now we have a collapse of Astralis onto the top side.
They're trying to stun them up, gets knocked down, does go out. Stormbringer comes out to try and turn this one around, but he's going to have to run as fast as he damn well can. Now can Astralis disengage? They're caught in the enemy jungle. Not sure they're going to find too much. Taxa goes in! Gets the kill anyway!
Doesn't look what's happening towards the bot jungle. There's a lot of fights going on here, because Singh has to blow both summoners.
He's so low. Chrono Shift was burned as well, and X7 are losing this game.
Is this now a Baron angle? You don't have Smite, you have a teleport on Jaeger, but this is going to be gone. Astralis, their mid-game where they have so often fallen to pieces, put it back together, they glue it back.
It is 2 ultimates and a dream right now for Tempt and Nata. Chomp just at the edge. Everfrost lands as well. Big chunk. What can they do, though? Goes in with the Shadow Surge. Baron secured as well. Nata about to be run down, has got the Gale Force, but the feathers fly through and shred him. Crest gets Vex. And that is Baron for Astralis.
Astralis, the team which is again out of playoffs. There are no complications for them. They are here for confidence, for pride, and for a way to leave this split on a high note. And that one is very much falsetto. It's far out of my range. As this fight happens on multiple angles, and as much as we have had concerns about Astralis overcommitting, having a bit of a mid-game issue at points, this one is X7 committing that flaw.
Yeah, they tried to turn around the dive. You saw what they were going to do. And then that max range charm does so much work, and I appreciate it, Tempt. I know you have to try and do something here or the Baron is gone, but it's just more salt in the wound. Excel right now out there watching this game.
Abject horror.
Abject horror. Head in hands. X7, though, are at soul point. 10 seconds till that one comes up. Do they want to fight? I'm not sure they're going to have a chance. That is still a win condition. And by the way, yes, you're down a lot of gold, but this comp does scale pretty well. Vex and Aphelios and Jace can do a lot at 3 items, but they got to get there. They can't lose too much more than this.
What I'll say about Vex in terms of the ever-feared scaling word is Vex is great when she is ahead of the game. When she has more gold than you kind of expect someone to have at that point in the game. If you snowball her, she's ridiculous. The problem is, if you tag this now onto a Hexdrink Lee Sim, who can safeguard away, kick you away, onto Merc Tread's HP built up from the Shadow Flame Ahri, that's going to be difficult. Of course, Rakan making things a little more hard to activate. Honestly, this Vex, very, very hard to play out cleanly.
I'm going to try and get onto Crest, but does force the Spirit Rush a little more. Haru going to get sped away. And the real dangers right now is this Ahri, very close to a death cap. 7-1 and 3 for Chrisberg. It's not been his split. It's not been his statements in later games. He's misstepped a lot. He's mispositioned a lot. But this game, he has been nothing but great. It's Haru.
Oh my gosh.
Running more like a cheetah than a bear right now.
Lol bear. Just comes in, just like, yep, cool, I'm ready to fight. Carlson fighting a little bit against his, well, takes most of his HP, popping the W2, stay on the
dangerous
field.
to X7. Still do a lot of work, and Chrisberg he's been a little afraid there himself, and gonna keep a hold of their inhibitor turret. Still got some bite to them. Could throw out Binding Eclipse there onto Taxa, but he'll safeguard away and they won't pop it quite yet. Haru continues to run.
Wendell, of course, not having that flash, but hanging around the corner in the way that Engage Champion is so effective. Chrisberg, of course, does have the Eclipse for the extra healing, but eating Shock Blast, probably not best for their short-term health.
That's still the thing, right? Chrisberg is still a poke target. You don't get to play that safely. You're not got a Gale Force. If you get jumped on, if you don't have the ultimate, you're still pretty killable.
Okay, so we now see that Astralis' Baron buff has fallen off. Crest level 16. Still with the...
Fight it, it's fine.
Either way, what we see from a first Baron is, to use a term that Rue dude, who's occasionally casting the Div 2 broadcast, is the economy Baron. You do it for money. The next one is the kill, but they might not.
Alrighty then, this top tier 2 has been X7's savior in times past, but Vex just gets deleted. It's a Vex press straight to the graveyard as Haru is about to fall down. The Chrono Shift will mean they don't finish that one up, but he's going to have to retreat back to his base. Baron is worn up, but Astralis in force around this top tier 2. I'm not sure does X7 have many ways to defend this one. It'll be another tower going down a 6th of the game for Astralis, and they move their way up to 10,000 gold in the lead here at 27 minutes.
And I think the worst thing here for X7 is that they would have loved for a Dragon to come up so they could at least try and not commit to a base defense and try and get themselves a steal, get themselves that soul.
4 items. 4 items on Chrisberg.
Yeah, and you see the death cap. It's also very expensive. Side of Crest, that is a lot of damage on your...
It's 2 for Nata. It's 2 right now for Tempt. He's not even got a stopwatch right now. Not quite got the 3rd on Jaeger as well. And you want to fight for this soul maybe in 2 minutes, but you're going to be in such a discrepancy. If they can get to 3 items, it's a possibility. You'll have the crit there for Nata. You'll have Tempt maybe with a little bit more safety with the stopwatch, but now at least Jace has that 3rd item. He's going to start hitting a little harder.
He is, and you're preying on overextensions. The problem is, how do you overextend when the enemy is in 5 champions strong in your side of the map? How do you do that? As long as the Astralis don't commit to 3 lanes, they stick on 2. I think it's difficult for X7 to find themselves a really strong engage, rather. They have themselves move speed on the volley bet. Got a lot of ways to catch out individual targets with the Vex and the volley. It's just so hard to actually land the knockout blow, even with the Edge of Night now on Chrisberg, as you're talking about those items coming in. The ease of execution is not low.
No. Minute 15 seconds till Seoul. The goal discrepancy has been very readily explained. We've been over it enough, we've underlined it enough. But Astralis, you need to not throw it, you need not to get caught out in the mid lane. Don't mess it up now. You're in such a great position. You can go out of the season with a bang, with a huge impact to the players. You could blue shell XL straight back down. You could still be doing something memorable. As Haru once again sped forwards, gets the Shireliers out of Wendell. And it's such a tense position in game.
And how fitting would it be if X7 were to lose the Volley Bear and the Zillion, the XL special?
No.
And that loss for X7 playing the style of their main rivals in this split in terms of the top of that table, the amount of weeks spent there in the 1-2, to send them down a third.
Still, you can't count X7 out. The game's not done. Astralis has not been the cleanest in the late game. It's why some doubts remain. Why X7 have been the #1 team in my league for so damn long. As Wendell gets stunned. Can you follow up anymore? No. Not quite enough. He'll have the battle lance out, but it's still 10 seconds now until the Soul. Baron's live.
You have the extra distance on that E out, and yes, this is all well and good. Remember, you do have pots left, though. You've still got the corrupting pot inventory from Crest. You still have that passive, and either way, you can look at this and say, yes, you're taking chunks, but are you actually in a position to fight? Absolutely not. You're stuck where your inner tower used to stand, not even close to the objectives.
No, they've decided now is not the time. They want that third item complete. Stopwatches in inventory attempt now. You can see the BF sword and the dagger right now for Dagger, who's still not completed tier 2 boots.
I actually hadn't noticed that. That is ridiculous. I mean, you have a Shirelles, you have a Zillion. You can have a little bit of help in the move speed department, but there are a lot of people who are calling for that. A lot of people who need that. A lot of pieces need to be in the right place at the right time. X7 struggle to find that balance and that spacing, especially with their champions. You think that that's a very important part of it.
Oh, there's going to be a bit dangerous. Jaeger's got him for a lot of damage. Will knock his way out as well. Crest is around, though, could look for the bind, but now Crest might actually have to back away himself, and Singh and Nata were around, just aware there could have been a collapse. It's just some trading. It's been a nervy, a tense back and forth right now, and the lightheartedness, the you know, slightly more gentle tone of early on into this game has disappeared. We are at a nail-biting point in this game. Baron is still up. Control of the river, control of the map is where our eyes must turn.
Of course, with all of the dragons in there as well, actually Hextech has one of the best stats, and we're getting multiple and given over to Astralis because the game has slowed down, it has drawn out. It's attack speed and ability haste per dragon, 5 of each. And actually, when you look at these champions, giving more ability haste, actually the whole bunch is quite dangerous.
What I'll say is that at least with Kasing around, you can help alleviate some of the XP discrepancies that kind of come through from being in a position like this. You can see it in the AD carries, 2 levels between Crestberg and Nata. And level 16, that 3rd rank of ultimate for a lethality Xayah who can start shredding an entire team. Just cut them in half, guillotine them.
And taking out that base cooldown as well, very, very important. We already talked about how hard it is to land the real punches you need to onto this AD carry. Of course, you only need it to happen once. And maybe if you take down that ultimate, it'll give you the option to find that. But the window gets closer and closer to being shut.
There we go. Smaller and smaller, closer and closer to being shut. Might be slipping a little on our phrasing, but I think the point comes across just fine. Baron, currently the option, but Astralis, we haven't done a lot since the last Baron. You haven't really been a bit proactive, and this is where I get a little nervous because this has happened before.
Ooh, and that
Don't mess it up.
Control does not catch the ward in the back of the pit. X7 have information. Astralis.
Hurry, go and stop. Well, you can't kick him out. They know this is going to happen. This will be a flip. This will be a flip down to 2000. It's going to get in. Oh. It's not stolen. Can't quite make it happen. The Shadow Surge is immune by the Hallowed Mist. Nata throws out the Gravitum ultimate to prevent Wendell getting in. It will just be the jungler who goes down. Baron is secured, but that was a flip. Make no mistake.
It was a flip, and it was a damn close one. 41 HP by my eye. Could have been even less than that, but X7's jungler not able to land the smite. Astralis. First Baron was for economy, it was for gold, it was for feel-good item completions. This next one, this is the real lethal one. This is the one where X7 have to really survive a veritable Helm's Deep of a situation. We're behind their own walls.
Has to break the base. There can be no charge of the here. There can be no dawn of the 5th day. Astralis will pull the teleports. They want to prevent any turnaround right now. Jaeger getting jumped on is going to get knocked up, knocked down. He's going to be resurrecting Nata in a difficult position, flashing away. Doing damage, charge on the side. Crest gets Kasing. Root onto Nata. 3 dead, 4 dead. And Astralis will do it. They'll knock down X7. Haru desperately trying to clear the waves, but he will not be able to do enough. There will be no mistakes. There will be no flaws in the late game. Astralis knock X7 down to 2nd. XL is despairing. Bifrost in adulation. They are the #1 team in the NLC Spring 2021.
It takes every goddamn game in the regular split to figure out how our standings end up. It comes right down to the wire. It comes right down to the last second, the last minute, and Astralis, the team which has had, by all metrics, a disappointing split. This is a team, an academy of an LEC team. However, they go out with a bang, they salvage something, they give something to be remembered by, and they have one of the most important results, the entire split under their name.
It was supposed to be solved. X7 from week 1 was supposed to be the champions, the #1 team. Astralis laid them low. They pushed them to 2nd, and playoffs just got even more exciting.
Say bye, Frosty, folks.
See you after this break. We've got a little more to come.
Welcome back, and what a trip this was. What an amazing game. X7 versus Astralis. Astralis playing spoilers. We talked about it to the stars, and this means that Bifrost ends the split in first seed, X7 second, and JDXL in third place. Welcome back, you two. And
What a world. What a world. And also, where was this Astralis the entire season?
Astralis ruined XL right now.
to the stars.
There is absolutely no room for error for XL, especially since they are on the lower bracket. One lost best of, you're out.
But I still feel like XL are feeling confident in that lower bracket. Like, don't get me wrong, like, the stakes are definitely way more dire for them now, but I still see XL as the better team in terms of, like, the lower bracket. I think the only thing they need to be worried about is once they reach that semi-final, because, like, you're going to be going up against loser of X7 and Bifrost, and that can still be a good matchup there.
But can I echo Gulborg? Because I feel like we talked to Taxer the previous time, right? And he said that the development has been coming in and he can see it and they're playing much more confident right now. Damn, this iteration of Astralis looks freaking scary, man. Like the way Crispec played today, it brought back memories from 2019. Kaisa Zaya, that's his meta.
That is a good opportunity to actually bring in the interview, which is Dombi. We're talking about the coach of Astralis. He's joining us for the interview today. Welcome. Ah, that is a good smile. That is a good smile.
Look at that smile. He knows
That's a good
exactly
smile.
why he's smiling. Oh.
Why is he smiling? Gulborg? You want to tell us?
Yeah, Gulborg, why am I smiling?
Yeah, why is he
Who
smiling?
wants to say this?
Okay, for det første så er du en lort, okay? Fordi du ved, hvorfor alt det her inden sæsonstart? Okay, whatever.
Something happened. Yeah.
Okay, we made a deal, okay? If I lost today, I would promise to never predict against Astralis today, and I did lose because they won. So yeah, there you have it. I'm never gonna predict against Astralis again.
For the summer
The whole
split?
summer split, he's gonna go
Or
for Astralis,
forever?
baby.
Well, to be fair, I think we did say I'm never. Like, I'm gonna have to
Yeah, we
read.
did say never, I think.
But it's only the academy team. I'm not doing it for the main team.
That's what I was going to go now. Okay.
Well, technically, you're safe because the academy team is better.
Well, both teams.
Statistically.
Both teams
Welcome,
will be lost
Dobby.
playoffs.
After this beautiful victory versus X7, I was going to ask you, and I'm going to do the question anyway. What did this game mean to you? Because the way you guys faced this game was with all you had. So can you tell me a little bit about this game?
I think, like, going into this game, I think X7 was kind of predictable in the way, like, we're also predictable, don't get me wrong, but like I wanted to play this Tire Rakan because like they've been playing a lot of these champions where they want to dive in, right? Like Hecarim, that's what we tried to bait, but the draft didn't like go that way. But ultimately Volibear is the same. So like we went in with this draft plan and we just executed on it, which made me really happy.
The way the team is working is stellar at this point. I would like to know what is the objectives for the next split for Astralis?
To just basically just play better, you know. Like at the end of the day, the only thing we can control is how we play. Like results is out of our hands. Like if we play good and enemy plays better, like they're gonna win, right? So ultimately the goal is just to play better.
So moving forward as well, because, I mean, you don't actually have any games, so there's not really many secrets to reveal either way. Having a look back at the season, what do you feel like was some of the struggles that prevented you from moving forward into playoffs this time around?
So I think a big one for us was actually stressing out, which you wouldn't really like think would happen on this roster, right? We have 4 very experienced and seasoned players, and then Carson, of course, but in winning states in the game, we became very hectic and we made a lot of like bad calls in the games. So that's why we a lot of the times like threw very big leads. So I think that's, and if like looking back at it, if those games were just won, we're actually in playoffs. So yeah, I think we wanted to win so badly that we forgot how to win in the games.
Well, it's really good to see actually a performance like this from you guys. My question here is, we saw this Astralis from today. I got glimpses of 2019 Crispec, the Kaisas, the Zayas, his favorite playmaking champions to play. Is this the final boss Astralis that we've been missing the entire season?
I think that this is not even the final boss. I think we can play a lot better than what we did today. Like there's a lot of our players who still has a lot to learn, and they are learning right now. Especially Carson has a long way to go. But if you see him being comfortable and him developing, that will be the final boss of Astralis, where we have like full firepower in all roles, right?
I cannot wait to see how Carlson honestly develops.
Yeah.
His start of the season was honestly spectacular.
And obviously, this is the last image we get from Astralis at the split. And I gotta say, it is a beautiful picture that you guys left us with. A way to show us, every single time we did interviews for like the past 5 weeks, the players have been saying, okay, we're showing up on scrims. It's the official games that is, it's not working as intended. And this to me is like, okay, we're here, we're ready, we want to go for summer split, so be warned. That to me is like the perfect picture from Astralis. And I know you're going to predict Astralis from now on because you love the team and all that, regardless of the game.
man,
Looks on you. I was going to do that anyway.
I was about to say, if they're playing like this.
Yeah, it's an easy choice. So, Domi, thank you so much for this interview, for the entire split as well, the roller coaster, and the way you finished. It was amazing to see. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. You guys are amazing.
Well,
And there you go. This is a stellar way to finish for Astralis and to finish the regular split, which means we now get a chance to see the bracket for playoffs. And there you go. JDXL are going to take
official
versus Riddle.
scream!
Yes. There you go. Dusty versus Vanir. And first seed Bifrost versus X7.
it's going to be great games. Honestly, it's actually really, really crazy to think about that we'll finally see the best of fives. I feel like best of ones are exciting, they're quick, they're snappy, but if you want to enjoy League of Legends to its fullest, you got to experience it in a best of five scenario. And you get Bifrost X7. JDXL Riddle to me is a little JDXL favorite, but Dusty and Vanir is incredibly close as well. So I'm expecting some, you know, all in all amazing series.
Honestly, I'm kind of scared. Riddle look quite strong when they're on their day. If somebody pops off, they pop off really hard. JDXL are not infallible. Yes, they beat Riddle today, and yes, they know they can't beat them because they've beat them before twice this season. But I feel like Riddle have the aces up their sleeves when people from out of nowhere in the team suddenly just pop off and they take over the entire game. The X7 versus Bifrost is the one I'm having my eyes on because Bifrost has beat X7 twice this season, and they did it quite convincingly both times as well. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see how X7 managed to turn this around in a best-of scenario.
We cannot finish the season without playing Big Ben Dodge. We got to do it at least one last time during the regular split. So we're going to bring out the cards. It's going to be all of us now. So only the analyst and the host are going to be playing today. It's a special day. We're celebrating the end of the split. And let's see what the production brought to us in terms of pick, ban, dodge. You guys know the rules at home, so play with us in the chat. If you see a play that you love, you pick it. If you see a play that, I'd rather not see this again, dodge it. And if that's that play where you see a Teemo pentakill, you can ban it away so you never see it again. So play with us in chat. Let's see what we have for the first one. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Is that what Volleybed?
Oh.
Okay, but that is karma. That is actually karma for all the Nautilus hooks that have hit and they shouldn't have. So I'm going to pick that play because Nautilus gets karma back.
I mean, I've played quite a few Nautilus games myself. It was one of my best champions last season. You gotta know about that terrain. It's finicky. You just gotta be patient. And I mean, FGG, incredible rel, but you know, just gotta learn the Summoner's Rift terrain a little more.
You can learn from Goldberg because he was his best champion last season.
Twitch.tv/Goldberg Real.
FGG, hit him up. Hit him up to learn about Nautilus.
Nice sellout at this point. So there you go. This is a play. Interesting, by the way. It's not like Leona had a lot of voice to run away, but he still decided to go for the wall. The biggest counter versus Nautilus, it is a wall. At least the cooldown is reduced. Let's look at the second play of the day. What do we have?
Ooh.
Okay, Leona again.
It's a 2v2. Very fancy moves from an Aphelios. Cool.
Ah.
See ya.
Can't touch this. I
See
mean,
ya.
it's a dodge. It's actually a dodge. That's no way around it. It's a dodge. Okay, we got a different one. Pick.
It was slick. I'm on the Zeri side. I was.
Oh, the Zeri side, yeah.
Get that out of my face. You think I want to see that? I'm laning with an Aphelios who's supposed to set me up with a Gravitum, and he fires that to Narnia instead? Get that out of here.
You want your carry to set you up?
When Aphelios has Gravitum, he's setting up the support. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Yeah, I like the idea that he started off without Naruto hand
And that's
movements.
why support mains have no fingers, because they're expecting their ADCs to set up for them.
Tell me something. How did you climb? Playing what role?
Next clip, please.
Okay, next clip. Moving on. Oh no. Ah.
Oh, that's MC.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
MC.
This was one of those.
He sees horse, he roasts horse.
And he goes down.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we're going to do the
Can we have the one after though?
If we show the second one, I'm divided though.
Gets level 6 from that. Oh, no, he gets overheated. He can't see Akali.
I have two opinions then. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna start. Oh, straight up. Okay, there you go.
Well, that is...
That dive single-handedly destroyed top lane for his team. He legitimately destroyed Riddle's top lane by giving Kryze that second kill. And it was the nail in the coffin. Because that Akali went crazy.
Preach. You know, you're laning top laner like that, your jungler makes a play like that. Get me out. Just go next.
I would say to start off, it's a pick to begin with. I'm like, yeah, you did it. Yeah, nice kill on Hacker.
Next chapter?
And then you go to the Akali one and you feed him like, why? Please, get out of my
The
line.
top laner suddenly just pings you
yeah.
with question mark pings.
I'm like, why are you giving him buff? Shit down. You're giving him everything. What are you doing? It's an Akali. Panic mode. And yeah.
He actually
GG
did
go
give
next.
him everything because Kryze took everything from them.
And then after nowhere, yeah, Akali.
What are the
the
odds
game.
production
I
of
think
Paul
we
that
still
put
have
in
one.
the clip with Archerum getting Antheon pick?
We'll see.
Okay, I think it's the last one of the day, if I'm not wrong. So let's see what happens on this play. Is it a... Okay, it's a play.
Oh, it is
there
a
you go, boy.
Pantheon play.
There you go, boy. Ooh, look at him. Look at him walking. From the skies.
Boom.
Oh, we took it.
Thanks for the leash, baby.
Look at him walking, man. Look at that. Would you look at that? That is a pick, and I would steal all your cards just to be a pick. Yeah.
Oh no, that's awkward.
There you go. This is a double pick. Give me the
Can I
blue
just-
buff and give me the walk.
Okay. I have to publicly say, since Quicks has publicly said it, that I'm banning Vanir. I'm never going to vote Vanir again because they did not let Sahira play Katarina in a game that had 0 implications. There you have it.
I'm dodging this conversation. It will not be part of it.
But can we take a moment to appreciate the Pantheon? Just give me that blue buff. Give me everything. Give me.
You know,
I'm
it's
taking
just like... Oh, it's just like...
I love it.
It's like a meme where it's just like, you just have your favorites for sure, and no matter what that champion would have done, you would have loved it. It's just like, look at him
Look at
walking.
him breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at him exist.
He breathes. It's manly. I love it. So I'm happy now. I'm happy with with the pick pen dodge. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well at home. For those of you who dodged the pick of Pantheon and the play of Pantheon, you guys are banned from chat. But looking forward, we have priceless play of the day.
Which one could that be? There's one that comes to mind.
Can you guys...
Might be connected to
Could
MC,
bet.
to MC in that top lane play a little bit.
It was one of those plays where it was a continuation from the play we just saw, by the way.
The consequences.
The consequences of the play. I think we have the priceless play of the day ready for you guys. So let's see what's going to be. You kind of already know, but look at it.
Thank you,
I
Master.
wonder. Thank you, MasterCard.
Ooh.
He
Like butter in the
overheats
sun.
again.
Who's playing this clip over with the Naruto music instead? And just like, pop,
Yes.
you know?
Love that.
GG, easy.
I mean, it
I
feels
would,
like
I would type GG
skin,
easy in all chat.
the skin is even giving him more damage, like emulating everyone
It's funny
around
because
it.
while this was being played, I said in the green room, the way you stop this Akali is only if Leona or Silas is there. And these 3 members were neither Silas around there nor Leona. It was a disaster.
And when they got the Leona, it was too late. Just a little bit too
It's a
late.
little too late, yeah.
So I think this is a wrap up for the entire regular split. I would like to give you two an opportunity to give me a summary of what you thought it was like. Give it.
I'll start out by saying that I was going to work with a crew that I had not worked with before and only trouble really coming in. But quite honestly, having to work around with Archer, Initialize, and Nymera has been an absolute blast, as well with the production. Obviously, viewership has been great as well. Been nice seeing the chat as well and the community that's building up. But I got to say, you guys are some awesome colleagues having, and it's inspiring seeing how hard you work.
Thank you. I'm kind of lost for words, Treble.
Honestly, I want to thank everyone who has supported us throughout the whole regular season. Everyone, obviously, around here that we've worked with. Thank you for taking care of us. Talking to the people who have been supporting behind the scenes, the people who have been chanting in the chat, all the shish that we've been talking, you know, and banter going back and forth. I think in this day and age, we do need it with things going around the world. We really hope that we could provide some solace to people that are tuning in for the silly jokes and the entertainment and to forget about things in real life that really bother us. And we hope that we have provided this for you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was not what you expected, was it?
I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this. So to wrap it up, as Nightmare is approaching as well, I don't know where Initialize is.
Nymera is approaching.
I gotta say that I was real. Oh, we got a microphone. I think we have something to wrap it up. We have the music.
Hey, Sam, come over here. You three
Okay.
have been incredible to work with this regular split. We have obviously moved from the UK to a different country for the first time in our lives. And the job has been awesome. The people we work with have been awesome. Everyone who has supported us has been awesome. Thank you for an incredible ride. We'll be back for playoffs.
You
but
know it.
it's a special. Come up here.
Come on.
Yeah, let's say
To wrap
goodbye.
it up. To wrap it up.
Digitally bow for us, the lads who aren't here right now as well.
I gotta say, I was scared to move to a different country as well, and I got to work with probably one of the most talented teams I've ever seen in my life, the production as well, the community as well, and for all of you at home that played in the NLC Division 1, whether I see you or not, for the next split, you were amazing, you made this a new home, and I'm happy to find a new family.
See you in playoffs.
I'll see you in playoffs. Story of Worlds.
What?